This is definitely going to be one of the weirdest things that I'm doing, but I decided, why not? For yesterday was my last day, essentially as a master's student and worker at my college. But I have a goal for this summer, is to do a song per week. Now, I released an EP back in February, and those songs, those 5 songs, I believe, I started them in August of 2022. And then, just as like a test to do stuff. Now I kind of have a better idea of how to record and do stuff, and I want to make it even better this time. So with this song per week, I'm going to be documenting my writing process, my recording process, and my thought process throughout the whole thing. I'm just going to record stuff on the side and just, document what happens. But I plan to spend a couple hours every day just on a new music project. This could be another EP, this could be another album. I have no idea what's going to come out of it. I have a couple ideas already that I want to start putting down just so I have them. Yeah, that's kind of what my goal for the summer is, to get some new material out and to perform as well. And if that happens, oh man, I'm going to totally record performances of the original stuff. But for today's video, I'm essentially going to be setting things up because it's a Friday and it's, whatever. But so what I started today is I learned how to, so for all the drums on my last EP, whatever, I used program drums, like this type of stuff. And I never really figured out how to route them in terms of having separate channels if I want to just, edit one. So everything was coming out of one type of audio file. But now I have all of them separated so I can have separate, settings for kick and snare and all that good stuff. So that's going to give me a lot more freedom to edit the drums as I please, because usually it was kind of running a couple plugins overall and getting and tweaking everything instead of just tweaking just one thing. And I think that's going to really come in handy to get some better drum sounds, because I think that was something that was a little bit lacking in my previous recordings. But I really love these Get Good Drums libraries. But I really want to get used to using these separate things to find a drum sound that I really like, because I used multiple. I think every song had a different drum sound, and I really want to clean up one sound and just use it for it. Here's an idea of a song I came up with not too long ago. I just put some drums to record a little bit, but I'm going to do a live track of this right now. Let's see what happens. Hopefully I do this right. If you can kind of guess the inspiration of the song, you'll probably have an idea. But for this, I really wanted to have a really spacey type of heavy groove, but it grooves and it's funky, but it's still really dark and mysterious. But I really want that I don't know, super trippy kind of vibe. Alright, time to record the next part. So weird. I'm going to go front and center with this real quickly. So in the meantime, a while ago I had to do some stuff. But for the arrangement, I finally came up with some newer parts. So I have verse 1, pre-chorus, and then an interlude, so it doesn't go immediately to the chorus. And then it goes back to another verse, and then pre-chorus, then it goes to an actual chorus. Now, one of the dilemmas I was having was the transition from the chorus back to what I believe would be the verse. I made it a little bit longer initially, but now I've made it so that there's a little bit of a pause. Clearly you can tell the drums and things get a little slower. But I think it's an okay for right now, just for a solution. I tweaked the drums a little bit, made them sound a little bit fuller. Yeah, so let me go show you the pre-chorus part to the chorus a little bit and show you what that sounds like. Now, what's weird about it is that the key that... Now, I'm talking about, this is now theory into the mix. Now, theory shouldn't matter too much. It probably sounds fine. But to my ears, I want it to go somewhere, and I want it to resolve nicely. So, like, this chorus is essentially, like, an E major. If you just think of E major. It doesn't probably sound like it, but it really is an E major. And then the main verse riff is kind of like in some B territory. I guess you could also call it like in, I don't know, there's some funky chords that have some like sharp fours and stuff like that. So it's kind of confusing. But I think going back to it, this kind of works a little bit right now. So I'm gonna keep it for this right now. A couple things I'll probably just bring up or mention real quickly is that this is very an ambient type of song. So I really want it to be like these wide and giant like sounds of the cymbals. So like the room, so I have some room stuff going on here, and they're going to sound massive with the drums. And I can make this even bigger right now. For right now, it's super fine because I'm going to put like probably synths and some more ambient guitars in the background. But I'm not going to go too crazy. In terms of putting bass on it, I'm not going to record bass right now because right now I'm waiting for new strings to put on my bass so I can get like best possible sound. I decided for after the pre-chorus 3, I'm going to maybe try to do like a breakdown type thing. I'm not sure how I want to do it, but so if we're going from that So I talked about a breakdown earlier, and I think I'm just going to have a breakdown right at the end. So instead of going back to the normal like that, it's going to go back. It's not going to go back to that chord. It's going to stay on the E major chord that we go to, but it's going to be a little bit of a different rhythmic pattern. I wrote out how I kind of want it. I'm going to try to do it. We'll see what it sounds like. Yeah, this is coming together. And total, we're at like 4 minutes and 8 seconds. So I'm pretty happy with how this sounds right now. For a sketch of an idea.
Okay, it's a couple days later. I recorded a bass track. So bass is essentially done. Nothing going to change much. I redid some guitars near the end to clean up some parts. Tweaked some drums in the mix a little bit. And now I'm going to be adding some synths in the background. So for the first spot, I'm going to have it come back in during the interlude and found a synth that kind of is going to sound like this a little bit. Let's get some in. I'm going to probably throw all the synths at some point through a processor where it's going to stereo it. So I'm going to do like synth, and I'll put a little bit of my favorite plugins for this, which is going to be CLA FX. So I'll do stereo, of course. I'll just turn off everything right now because I'm not too worried about what I'll be using. And then I'll open my mixer, and then once I'm here, I'm just going to drag this into, that's going to send to here. And then I'm not going to have this sent to the master. It's just going to go straight to CLA FX. So once it's in here, I can just make it really wide. And I'll probably throw a compressor at the end of this. Let's record this next part. what it seems, I'm probably gonna do a I'll maybe have more of a low end on this track. Maybe it'll be more sub, I'm assuming. I can mess around with it with the EQ later, but I feel like this works nice with the bass. That's kind of cool. Maybe that? I don't know. Let's see what that sounds like. I'll try it. I made up some stuff at the end, but it actually kind of worked, so I'm not going to complain too much. Let's do strings, maybe. And we'll do chords. Okay, it is technically Monday. We're going to start a new song today. Before, I'm going to show you what I did last night after I recorded that little video. Once I got to where I was yesterday, I decided to want to have something carry over, but I decided against it. I tweaked it a little bit more, and I'm pretty happy with how this ending is sounding. Yeah, I'm really digging that. On to the next one.